Welcome back. My name is David Hopper. This is part of a larger series of videos that follow the alphabet from A to Z to help us launch new ministries, new campuses, and new churches. Now today, we will be talking about F for follow-up. Someone showed up. They took the time out of their busy schedule and they showed some kind of interest in what you are doing. Remember, you have spent months, if not years, working and believing in this project. They heard about it last week or a few weeks ago and decided to show up and support you. So what you do next shows whether this is all about you or about them. They're only going to care about what you care about if you first actually care about them. This is our follow-up plan. How are we following up with this person? How are we assimilating them into our family, our organization, our service? Someone has shown interest in what we are launching. Are we maximizing that first contact? That first group of people that come on board, they're going to be your best evangelists, as we talked about in previous videos. You want to treat these early adopters well because they are the ones that are going to tell the story to the masses. Have a clear follow-up process that assimilates new visitors into your family. What I'm going to show you next is what made our church, the one that we launched, grow faster than anything else that we ever did. This is an example of a clear 7-step process for follow-up. You don't have to do it, but this is one example. We did this with every visitor and our retention rate was fantastic. You can change these steps up, add your own spin, but make sure you have a comprehensive follow-up plan from day one. Now here's what worked for us. Step 1, we would collect the email, the cell phone, the number, the address from our first-time guests. I visit new churches all the time, every week actually, and I love doing that because I learn so much from doing this. It is shocking how many churches that I have gone to that didn't get any information from me and barely talked to me. And I would fill out everything. Anything you give me, I fill out because I want to see your follow-up process. And I can tell you that it is not the norm to be asked for my information. And you may ask, how do you do this? I don't want to scare people off and, seem weird for asking for their information on their first visit. And to be honest, they expect that. They expect for their information to be asked for. When I go to a fast food restaurant, they're asking me to join their club. If I buy groceries, they want to know all my information and my social security number, right? There may be some that don't like this. That's fine. But most people, if you ask, they'll give it to you. To sweeten the deal, you could do a giveaway for this info. I used to give a free book. Whenever someone new would give us their info, I would say you can turn your card in with the offering, or you can take your info to the back and we have a special gift for you, which was one of my books, and it was nice to give that to them. This was enough to push that hesitant person over the line and give me the information. I did everything I could to get this info because it allowed me to show them everything else and how much I truly cared that they showed up. Figure out something that's worth their investment into you and then invest into them. So that moves us to step 2. Within 48 hours, you have to send an email, something that says, we want to thank you for being here. Now, this is something you can assign to another person on your team, but just as long as this email is going out saying thank you for visiting, and this follow-up person, they're going to make sure that no one falls through the cracks, that everyone is getting this email connecting them to your organization. This first email connects them with your new organization. This is the beginning of that relationship that connects them to how they can get more involved with who you are and what you're trying to accomplish. What do you want to tell people? Now this goes back to your vision frame, that elevator pitch about your core values. You're welcoming people to your new family. It can't be too big, it's short, it's a thank you, but it's welcoming to that vision that you created with that elevator pitch from our earlier videos. Step 3. This is a second email that goes out the next week that invites them to a coffee meeting. Some kind of connecting point. If you don't like coffee, whatever. It connects them to your website, an upcoming event. Hopefully they returned and they already have been there twice, but whether they did or not, you need to try and connect with this new person in a personal way. I would always do it with a coffee meeting. Now, I understand that seems a little overwhelming, but do we want this to grow? Do we want this thing to continue to grow? We have to do the work. This brings us to step 4, which is the coffee meeting. Now, in ministry, we made sure to push a one-on-one coffee meeting within 2 weeks. Not sure what you're launching, but this is next level stuff. If you can get coffee with someone, they'll usually connect to whatever you're launching. They saw how much you cared. They saw that you wanted to spend time with them. They understood the vision you were presenting, and then they heard you listening to them and who they were. Almost every time, if you do those things, they'll stick. They'll be shocked that someone cared about them that much. And you'd be shocked at how many people I talked to that said we were the first church. They were shopping around for a while where the pastor actually wanted to have coffee with me. Lots of pastors are great on Sunday mornings. They seem like the most likable, awesome person that everybody loves. They are fist pumping, they're kissing babies, and then you try and meet with them. And heaven forbid you try and hang out with them for like an hour as a friend. This is where the corporate world that everyone likes to tell you that you're launching a business separates from reality. Church is not a business. When I go to McDonald's, I don't expect them to know my dreams, my kids' names. The boss doesn't invite me to coffee and ask my first impressions. But a church is not a business. It's a family built on relationships. No matter the size, when we lose this, we lose the point of why we wanted to do this job in the first place. The burnout of ministry is losing that first love of just wanting to see lives changed. This happens one person at a time. If you get this coffee meeting and then you listen to that person across from you and what they have to say, that's when you begin connecting on a deeper level. Why would we not do this with everyone that we are trying to meet and connect with this launch? Why would we not do this with anything that we are launching? Step 5 is a next connect event. Always have that monthly event that's coming up to invite a new person to. This is the monthly connect event that tells the vision, the history, the details, the future plans of whatever you're launching and who you are. This is an important area of follow-up that we tend to put off until we think we're big enough for it. Don't do that. Have a connect event on the calendar every month. You always want to have that next thing that you can be pointing new people towards. It usually takes about 7 encounters before someone makes a church their church. You need to help these 7 encounters happen as quickly as possible. Step 6, placement into a small group. How can you connect them to a smaller group of people that also believes in what you're launching? The coffee meeting should not be too much for us to handle, but needing to have a coffee meeting every month with the same person so they'll stick around, that will make you go insane. You need to be able to hand people off to leaders that you've developed to continue the relationship. This is one of the reasons that small groups needs to be a part of your launch process. You can't be the only connection point for every new person that comes to your launch. This will stunt the growth process. Help people connect to an on-ramp in your ministry fast. And we'll talk more about on-ramps later. Step 7, text message. Use text messaging to give quick updates, information, or special announcements. People will unsubscribe fast if you email more than a newsletter every once in a while, once every couple weeks. You can't use email like that. People don't answer the phone anymore. So text messaging is this one communication device that people do not mind getting on a weekly basis. Use this to your advantage. Get into an online text messaging service and send out some kind of reminder or announcement weekly using this follow-up tool. Now let me give you one bonus past the 7. I don't include this in my 7-step process because it's so controversial, but I have always had this as a part of my follow-up as well. It's the home visit with a gift. This used to be common with church, but somewhere along the way, people convinced everyone that this scared people away. I have done this with anything and everything that I have launched. And I have so many stories of people deciding to come to our church because of the home visit. I would give them a coffee cup that cost about $2, and they would make this church their home for life because they thought that was such a neat thing that someone did for them. It works. You don't have to use this follow-up process exactly, but you need to have a follow-up process that is set in stone with plenty of volunteers to make it happen. Do not let this slip through the cracks. Next time, we'll be talking about giving. The G for giving. How do we raise money? Can't wait, and I'll see you next time.